Listen, in this video, we're going to be talking about something new, which is coming out called FedNow, how that's going to impact XRP and other cryptocurrency. And even if you feel that you're safe, you're here in the UK or maybe across Europe or somewhere, you're probably not. So we're going to be covering some of that as well. First, let's just take a look. What is FedNow? Will FedNow replace PayPal? And now it says here that FedNow is not intended to kill or replace any other money transfer options like Venmo, Cash App, PayPal or Zelle or Bitcoin or Stellar Lumens or anything like that. Unless that's just what it says here. We're going to be taking a look at this in just a moment in the actual FedNow website. FedNow, what is the FedNow system? A new instant payment infrastructure developed by the Federal Reserve that allows financial institutions of every size across the US to provide safe and efficient instant payment services. Like, what's wrong with Bitcoin, okay? And it says here, who will use FedNow? And it says basically that it's just going to be banks and credit unions. So if you think that you've heard that and that that is actually the truth, I'm sorry to say, but you're actually wrong. Here's FedNow. Let's just take a quick look at their little video that they've brought out.
In today's fast-paced world, time is money. More people, businesses, and organizations are demanding instant payments. That's why the Federal Reserve is developing the FedNow service, a safe and efficient instant payments infrastructure that will modernize the U.S. payment system. The FedNow service will give financial institutions the opportunity to innovate, enabling their customers to send and receive money in seconds, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
So just clarifying there, they are saying that this is just only going to be in the US for businesses to pay clients and that type of thing. Let's just see where it goes.
Funds will settle between financial institutions in real time, which means there's no buildup of interbank obligations, and end users will have access to the funds in seconds. How will the FedNow service work? Imagine the owner of a coffee shop is running low on coffee beans and needs to schedule a quick delivery. She places an order, and the coffee bean company sends her a request for payment. She responds to the request for payment and pays for the coffee beans right then and there through an app from her credit union, which uses the FedNow service. Once she initiates the payment, her credit union screens the payment and sends an ISO 20022 compliant payment message, either directly or through a service provider to the FedNow service over the Federal Reserve's FedLine network. The FedNow service instantly validates the payment message and passes it along to the coffee bean supplier's bank. In real time, the supplier's bank confirms to the FedNow service that it intends to accept the payment, and the FedNow service debits and credits the master accounts of both the shop owners and the coffee bean suppliers.
I hope you see here how the FedNow service is basically the middleman in every single transaction going on in America, or else this is the plan, okay, to take over and be the middleman for every single transaction. I'll show you more.
Financial institutions or the master accounts of their correspondents. The FedNow service also immediately sends a payment message with an advice of credit to the supplier's bank and notifies the shop owner's credit union that settlement is complete. Finally, the supplier's bank credits the supplier's account in near real time, making the funds available. The supplier's bank will have the option of sending a confirmation to the shop owner's credit union that the payment has been posted to the supplier's account, providing the coffee shop owner with certainty that the payment was received. The FedNow service will be designed to be flexible and support a broad range of potential use cases. Banks, credit unions, and other industry providers can use it as a springboard for innovation to support a range of applications such as account-to-account transfers and bill pay. For example, now imagine it's after hours and the shop owner gets a reminder that her car insurance bill is due today. She may be able to avoid a late fee by initiating a bill payment in her credit union app and selecting to pay it now. Later, she repays a friend for a pizza they shared using an app provided by her credit union that clears and settles through the FedNow service. With this service,
that's right, peer-to-peer payments. So you'll be paying your friends, and anything else you need to pay, bills, etc., is all going to be going through the FedNow system. They're going to be taking an account of every single transaction that you make. Like, what is wrong with Bitcoin? What is wrong with Litecoin? What's wrong with XRP? I wonder, are these guys actually using XRP, because this was their idea, right? Well, it turns out they're using this blockchain instead. Now, you probably never heard of it. The Metal blockchain is by something called Metallicus or something. And what they've done here is they've basically taken a bunch of stuff which is good with other blockchains from Avalanche and that, and sort of mashed it all into one. And they've not been out that long, since maybe a year or two. And one of the things that I thought was quite interesting was this biometric key recovery, because one of the things is people losing their private keys, particularly when it's a lot of banking customers. This is one of the big concerns. So they've come up with this biometric key recovery process where they're going to have permissions that allow the administrators of the system, I should imagine the banks or the Federal Reserve, and they're going to have the ability to reset the user's keys, i.e. reset your private key. The administrator, not you, but the administrator of the system will be able to reset your keys at will. So much for not your keys, not your crypto. In this case, not your keys, period. Of course, one of the big tragedies with all of this, like what you've seen with XRP, because they already had a system that could do all of this stuff and they could have just rolled that out in the US, but the Fed didn't want that. Instead, the Fed went down the road to their friends at the SEC and they had them actually tie up Ripple in court for the last couple of years to prevent Ripple from being able to offer their products to the banks, because obviously they're getting sued by the SEC, all while the Federal Reserve was actually building their own system that does exactly the same as what Ripple's XRapid did. And now they're rolling it out next week. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if at some point after that, within a week or two, the judge will give Ripple the all clear, but by that point it's too late. So this is the guys that are running the Metallicus thing, which runs the Metal blockchain, and run basically by a couple of guys which are into Dogecoin, so a couple of meme coin enthusiasts. You got this girl here, she's worked with Circle, I think. No, sorry, this is the angel investor woman. So she's an angel investor and worked with a few other bits like this. This is the one that worked with Circle and Poloniex. Pretty standard stuff, really. You got another guy here from banking, another guy here from banking. And, you know, looking through all of their LinkedIn profiles, I got to say, these are the type of guys that if you were having a company which was then going to be used by like the Federal Reserve to run this FedNow system, these are the type of people that you're going to employ. So I don't think there's anything that shocking. But what is shocking is the price of this metal. So like I said, it hasn't actually been out that long. It came out here in 2022, like literally last year. And the price went from 150 a coin all the way down to 6 cents. Like where it is right now, like 6-7 cents. So this is not a very popular coin at all, and you can actually only get it, if you have a look on the markets here, you can only get it on Gate.io and MEXC, whatever that is. Never even heard of that one. Not very popular at all. And one of the things that I found particularly funny was the fact that the maximum supply is 666. A rather interesting maximum supply number to choose, and I think even more interesting that the Federal Reserve saw these guys, saw that, and thought, yes, this is the type of guys that we want to do business with. Pretty much says all that you need to know. Now, we've got here Goldman Sachs-backed crypto payments group Circle aims to become a full reserve national digital currency. Now, this was back in August 2021. And as you know, there's a girl from Circle now working with this other group. And everything outlined here in this article sounds eerily familiar after just reading the Metal blockchain page over here, and also FedNow and everything that FedNow does. It all seems very, very similar. So it does make me wonder if the actual stable coin, which is going to be going back and forth on FedNow, is actually going to be USDC. This is a very fancy website over here, and I was looking in here earlier at the use cases, and although we did see on Google earlier that they weren't going after like PayPal and Bitcoin and Litecoin and all these sort of peer-to-peer networks where you can send money where they're not actually in the loop, you can see here this whole page, you know, if you're going to go and read that, you'll see that they're talking here about Apple's pay system, the Zelle network. Down here as well, they've got PayPal and Venmo mentioned. And what they're basically saying here, if you read it, is that they're not happy that these transactions are going on outside of their control and that they happen without them actually knowing about it. Even the banking institutions also don't actually get involved in any of this, so they've got no idea how much is being spent and where it's being spent. So the whole idea with the FedNow system is the fact that they're going to be able to record all of these peer-to-peer transactions and have a better understanding of how money is moving around the country. All very progressive, of course, but it doesn't stop there, because if you're in Europe over here, you've got this here, request to pay, which apparently is actually going to be going in front of the ECB or something like tomorrow. And they're going to be looking at rolling this out as well. So this is a request to pay system, pretty much exactly what you saw on that video earlier with the US version. So you've got the payee coming in here. This would be the Federal Reserve's FedNow system, but this is the European version. And then, you know, the payee's bank and the payer's bank, and messages going back and forth. And it's of course not just about that, but it's also about this here, the digital euro. So this is the ECB, and they've been planning this digital euro to be coming in the near future, as you see there. And it says here that the ultimate goal of the digital euro would be to drive financial innovation, facilitate modern digital payments, provide customers with a wider choice, and create more opportunities in financial services. So I think basically what we're talking about here with financial innovation and opportunities for financial services is just going to be more ways to screw things up. Just think back to 2008 and the derivative market of people wrapping up those mortgages which were worthless and selling them onto other banks, and other banks selling those on, and they were all completely what they call synthetic assets. Do you remember that? And it was all complete nonsense. And of course now they want to do it all over again with digital euros, digital currencies, and it's all gonna be a disaster. Anyway, that's just my opinion. Do let me know in the comments below just what you think about that, and subscribe, like and subscribe, and I'll see you again in the next video.